Caller, give her 1 minute.
I've been waiting for the time to come. I've been waiting for the time to come when everything that's past is turned to dust.
It started really with just a group of people sort of getting together on the island and realising that, you know, a bit of land would be good. Some of us into projects which need some land, and a block of farmland came up here down at Awaawaroa Bay, and the price seemed right.
There's a single title to the land, which means that no one of us holds the title to our house site. It's a lease in perpetuity.
We don't actually own this place individually. I don't own this house, believe it or not. You know, the company owns this. The company owns the nursery. But I have some sort of right of occupation, so I'm a shareholder in the company. I don't actually have title.
We don't actually own the land, as it were. The company owns the land. We're the company. There's 15 shareholders, and there's one title.
For this 400 acres to be sold, every single shareholder has to agree. You know, if one person says no, you know, the place stays here.
We don't have a voting system. We actually operate by consensus. We did use the voting system once of a standard company, but it failed miserably and created a lot of bad feelings. So we have entrenched consensus as our decision-making model in our constitution.
We're supposedly called an alternative village. Well, I don't know. I think we're just back to reality, to be honest with you.
We got to the ethos fairly quickly that it was going to be a cooperative thing.
When we got together, the main philosophy was to actually take care of the land. This was badly grazed for a couple of 100 years, I think.
When we bought the place, there were cattle, you know, there were bloody big Angus Hereford cattle wandering around here, and there was nothing. It was grass about 2 inches short. There were helicopters coming in to spray every couple of years. You know, the old 2,4-D would go on the hills. You know, now we planted out the wetland, there's sort of flaxes and kowhai, and it's just a healing process. I mean, it's not a sort of a crusade I'm on or anything. It's just something that I do, something I enjoy, and I'm, you know, I suppose I'm good at it. So, you know, it's just my sort of niche in life.
We wanted to nurture the land back into health. So that was the main reason for coming together. It was also because we wanted to build a community.
We all live different lives. We don't live in each other's pockets and things like that. We all live our own private lives and things like that. So we're not a commune, as it were, okay? We are a community where the basic principles of organics and the ecosystem, everything like that, apply.
We wanted to live outside the system as much as possible, meaning that we wouldn't use electricity. We would have composting toilets, we would use only solar power, grow our own veg. I mean, these were the ideas in the beginning. As you come to try out these ideas, it obviously becomes more and more difficult. But
we're not really dreamers here. You know, this is not sort of, you know, the old commune style. I think we're quite hard-headed and switched on about where we want to go, and it's happening.
Once a month we have a working bee day, and a few of us get on the building and a few go and do the weeds and what have you around the place, and culverts and roads and every other thing that's got to be done. We've got toilets to build, we've got water tanks to get, we've got a children's room to build also, and grey water systems, etc, etc. So there's lots and lots and lots to do, you know. It's like a house, but except it's for a community.
It's been used since time immemorial. The first houses in the world were built with adobe down in the Euphrates Valley, and some of them are still standing from 6,000–7,000 years ago. It has thermal mass which keeps it warm in the winter and cool in the summer. It's an increasingly used material.
It is built out of earth brick. Those bricks being made of the local Waiheke stone.
It's actually an expensive way to build if you're getting somebody else to do it, but if you're doing it yourself, it's actually quite a cheap way to build.
The material is quite cheap. I mean, that's the smallest cost of the building is the earth brick.
It is a community building. It's going to be our centre or focal point for the community. At the moment we have meetings and get-togethers and what have you in each other's houses. So we're getting so many people that it's actually getting quite crowded, in the houses.
We used to have shared meals and meetings in people's houses when there was 5 or 6 families living in the place. But now there's 11 families living here out of the 15. There just isn't room to do it altogether. No. And we need the extra room of the building.
So the community building, it's a place we can all feel neutral in, not like in our house. Someone else is in our house, in someone's house, they can't speak their truths because they're in another space. But in this one here, this is everyone's space, so we can speak our truths, as it were.
I'm a stranger in this house.
It means that we're going to be able to do things as a group, so we're going to have a big enough space to do it.
And have evenings, weekly meal evenings, shared meals. Shared meals we do are great fun.
It is for community meetings. It's we'll have a library in there, we have a kitchen in there. We'll have our own power system also, so all the lighting and everything like that will all be, the lights will all be our solar power.
We use a lot of solar power, 2 of us now connected to the mains. The 2 who are connected to the mains are only connected to the mains because the mains power is nearby and they've been able to access it. And what they do is it's a hybrid system. They work with solar and they feed back to the grid. The rest are completely solar and solar water heaters. Everybody's got those. And the idea is that you live your life based on how much power you have. So if you don't have enough power, you won't be watching your video or using your computer. Because the generators, the use of the generator is something that we don't like. We understand that people need to preserve their batteries and back up from time to time, but relying on generators is really not what we had intended to do. I guess it's something to do with, it's a systemic reason, because if you work through the systems and petroleum industries, defence industries and so on, it's one could associate some of these products with those industries, and therefore perhaps it's a way of saying we will not be involved in that kind of lifestyle. We choose not to be part of the petroleum industry, or we choose to minimise our consumption of products that use oil or gas or whatever. We have windmills, as you can see over there.
Ouch. Ouch.
Ouch. Hold on to it, don't move,
ouch,
don't
ouch,
move.
Ouch.
Okay, one more time. So what do? They actually feed power. Well, the power that's made from the mill feeds through this point. Okay, these 3 different, what do you call them, each one of those? 3 different phases? Phases, okay. There's a 3-phase. It's a 3-phase, 96 volt.
Yeah, 100 volt now.
100 volt now. It's a 100 volt windmill. And these little brushes, which are in this box here, they actually slot into this little thing into that point, and they poke through like yay. And those, each one of those hits, one of these hits onto each one of those points, which gives you the 3 phases. I don't like bills. Does that start? Power, I've always been interested in my own power. I've always, it's a self-interest for sure. And it goes with the style of living that, my partner and I have chosen to live, which is independent of all the what? I don't know how to, independent of authority. Very much the authority thing. You know, no one can tell me, like, you know.
It's actually getting rid of this.
The thumb. But I feel as though the general public are being sucked into something really quite terrible. Quite the bills. People are finding you're paying more and more for this sort of stuff.
73 something. 73.
Okay. We're a bit excessive here. We run fridges and freezers and computers and TVs and God knows what else. And I also run my workshop tools here with my own power systems. And I'm totally self-contained. So now we're going to load it on the back of the tractor on the mower and actually take it up to the mill and feed it onto the head of the mill and lift the thing up. Put all the blades on and everything, have it all ready to go and lift it all up in the air and touch wood it goes. Yeah, you think we should stop for another cup of tea before we do it?
Sounds like a good idea.
So this is our windmill here for pumping water up to the nursery. It's not working very well today. Here we've got some solar panels and a solar pump. So when the wind's not blowing, when the wind's not blowing, hopefully the sun's shining and we're getting some solar energy. We can track the sun. When I come down in the morning, I put it to the east like that. About midday she goes there. In the afternoon we swing it round to the west and we get the maximum efficiency then.
A work of art.
A lot of engineering expertise needed to be able to assemble this, or that's why you got specialists as well?
Got to be brilliant, don't you?
You got to be, yeah.
They don't.
You got to have at least your school tea.
And good looking.
Okay, how's that?
Lovely, mate.
Beautiful. I'm always happy when I see that go around. Fantastic. With this and the sun, I don't run out of power. It's great. And it's there 24 hours a day, 365 days a week.
People find out after they've lived a while what their needs are and try and create a power system to support that. But it is only when you're actually doing it that you find out what it is you need, and some people don't want to be without certain things. Some people need to have their cell phones and their laptops. It's part of what they do, it's their job.
It's worthwhile doing it because you're independent. You're independent. And the more people do it, the cheaper it's going to be. Technology is here to make this all so inexpensive for everyone. And it's getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And that's why it should be.
I wish my love for you. I could turn water into wine. I wish my love for you. I could turn water into wine.
A lot of us see this place, have come here because we want to pass on something to our children and hopefully their children's children.
I look at it as going to be a sort of a long term, and hopefully the kids will be here and maybe their kids. Maybe they won't, maybe they'll flick it off as soon as we're gone, I don't know.
I've been waiting for the time to come. I've been waiting for the time to come when everything that's fast is turned to dust. I've been lost to be your mass with the looser skin, you pretty hate machine.